Well, happy last day before your Christmas break starts. We're going to finish up social studies on our study of Andrew Jackson and the Indian Removal Act with reading an article about the Cherokee and the Trail of Tears. So I want you to learn more about them and their culture. Does this person look like a Cherokee Indian right here? He is. He's dressed like a white settler, isn't he? Dressed very fancy. This is William Penn Adair, a Cherokee delegate to U.S. Congress in 1866. So remember, they were living more like the white settlers before they got forced out. Nevertheless, they got forced out. So let's read about the Cherokee in the United States. A very long time ago, before the United States even existed, the land was already home to a wide variety of different American Indian tribes. You may have also heard people belonging to these tribes called Indian and Native Americans. While some people may think of American Indians as one group of people who are all similar to one another, there are actually big differences between the American Indian ethnic groups and the tribes formed within them. Each of the different ethnic groups has a unique culture and language, and each tribe has its own system of government. Each tribe also has a unique history of interaction with early European settlers and the United States. One example of an American Indian ethnic group is the Cherokee. Within this group, the Cherokee people formed tribes, or communities whose members shared a language, customs, and beliefs. Currently, there are 3 federally recognized Cherokee tribes in the United States, which means they get special programs and services from the government, and also have certain legal rights. In addition to these 3 recognized tribes, there are more than 200 other groups who identify themselves as Cherokee tribes. The Cherokee originally lived in what we now know as the southeastern United States. This includes modern-day Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee. They lived by farming, hunting, and gathering on the land. In the 1700s, they first started to interact with the Europeans. The Cherokee traded deer skins with the Europeans, and the 2 groups generally had good relationships with each other. However, as more European settlers began to move on the land the Cherokee needed for hunting or gathering, the Europeans and Cherokee came into conflict. This led to many battles, and the Cherokee lost a lot of land to the Europeans. After the American Revolution, the Cherokee lost even more of their land as the Americans began to build new settlements in Cherokee territory. Over the next few decades, the Cherokee people started to change. As they spent more time with the Americans, they started to adopt some parts of the American culture and technology. For example, Cherokee tribes used to grow their food on communal farms. This means that the entire tribe shared the same land, farming it together and sharing the crops among themselves. The Americans encouraged them to switch to growing their food on individual farmsteads. This practice is similar to what we think of as farming today. Each farmer owns a piece of land and grows his or her own crops on it. They also raised pigs and cattle on the land instead of hunting deer. The new United States government also gave the Cherokees spinning wheels and taught them how to spin cotton. In the 1800s, the Cherokee even began to adopt some of the structures of the United States government for their own society. They even had their own constitution. However, as the United States grew, the government wanted more land for new settlers. This led to the government and army pushing Cherokee off their land. At first, some of the Cherokee voluntarily relocated, but a lot of them were forced to move even though they didn't want to. In the 1830s, in an infamous event known as the Trail of Tears, the United States Army forced the Cherokee to march to Oklahoma. More than 4,000 Cherokee died during this march. Today, most Cherokee live in Oklahoma, North Carolina, or on the West Coast. In the decades following the Trail of Tears and forced removal of the Cherokee, the United States government has worked hard to improve its relationship with the Cherokee and other American Indian groups. The government passed laws to let some tribes maintain their own governments and govern themselves legally within the United States. The Cherokee Nation is the largest federally recognized Cherokee tribe and has more than 300,000 members today. So the Cherokee are still here. They got pushed off their land by Andrew Jackson and the Indian Removal Act of the Trail of Tears, but eventually we gave them some of their land back, North Carolina, like I've said a few times, you can go see them today. You can go talk to the actual Cherokee people that live there. Okay. Learn more about their history. Go see the show about the Indian Removal Act. So we've learned a lot about Andrew Jackson, some of his major accomplishments, good things, paying off the national debt, destroying the national bank and giving the money to the states. What else did he do? And then, of course, we know about the Indian Removal Act. Maybe that's not such a good thing. The Trail of Tears. He got a lot accomplished as president. Some of it was controversial, but he got a lot accomplished. The Trail of Tears is one of the saddest things that happened during his presidency. So we've learned about it now for over a week. You've got one more set of questions for me to do for social studies, and then you're ready to start Christmas break tomorrow. Have a great day, and look forward to seeing you for just a few minutes tomorrow. Bye-bye.